You can't get much more dramatic than volcanic ash burying beehives and the bees surviving, said entomologist Keith Delaplane about a recent news story from the Canary Islands. Not the ash, the toxic fumes, or the heat managed to penetrate 5 hives that the bees sealed off with a special secretion. Talk about a bubble of protection. The simple bee, it turns out, can be a master of resilience in the face of the unexpected. And yet, how often do we think of bees? When we think of the animals in the stable in Bethlehem, I imagine that cattle, sheep, and other barnyard creatures come to mind. But there must have been insects too. There must have been bees. Israel was, after all, the land of milk and honey, that sweet nectar of bees. Bees are older than the Christmas story, and honey has been prized deep into antiquity, and I couldn't resist, but I brought a little jar of honey that is from the first parish beehives. Perhaps the longevity of bees is linked to their remarkable resilience. Bees surprisingly survive all manner of uncontrolled fires, bitter freezing cold, torrential rains, and yes, steaming hot volcanic ash. Bees survived on the charred roof of Notre Dame. Bees are proven masters of resilient adaptation in the face of unprecedented challenges. I wonder if Mary considered the bees among her pondering thoughts. Did she worry a bee might hurt her baby? Did she marvel at the tenacious search for pollen and nectar for the hive? Did she consider her own tenacity to embark on this long journey to Bethlehem, pregnant, betrothed, and cautious of the Roman authorities and their Jewish collaborators, who might take issue at what some were saying about the future of her son as a leader? Given all the threats to herself and her infant son, I wonder if part of Mary's thoughts were simply, how will we survive? Each year, as we listen again to the Christmas story, we are in a different context than the year gone by. This year, we find ourselves again celebrating Christmas in unexpected ways due to the ongoing pandemic. And yet, unlike last year, some of us are gathered in person. Some of us are here or not here because we're traveling to see family, hopefully with the aid of boosters and testing. And still others of us are using the tools of digital connection to be a part of this gathering, wherever we might be tonight, as well as to gather with family and friends at other times. It is in this context of our own adaptations to threat that I more clearly notice the resilience of Mary and Joseph to all they encountered: necessary travel among crowds, unexpected accommodations in a stable, strangers showing up to visit amidst it all, and an infant so frail, a mother tired from childbirth, a father worn from worry. At least Mary and Joseph and Jesus did not have to deal with volcanic ash burying the stable. Perhaps for us, the ever-erupting news of the pandemic, racist incidents in local schools, divisive national politics, and global climate change may make it feel as if we are being buried in volcanic ash. We are all on a long, hard journey. And along the way, the unexpected will happen. Government edicts will be issued or fail to be passed, and so very many lives are impacted. Pregnancies will arrive unplanned, and choices must be made. Plans will be drawn to reach a destination, a certain vision of the future, only to discover that it has been closed off as an option. The proverbial inn is full. And so now what? The bees responded to threat, exclaimed beekeeper Antonio Coseda, by using a resin-like mixture, sometimes known as bee glue, to seal themselves in the hive. While typically used only to patch holes, they repurposed the glue to cover everything but a tiny escape hatch. Adapting to an unprecedented threat, they survived and thrived. The Christmas story reminds us to have hope in the possibility of survival, to believe that sometimes the unexpected, even the miraculous, appears to guide our way to a thriving future. The bees teach us this not only when they dramatically survive volcanic ash, but also when they remain a warm, buzzing ball on a cold winter night, as the choir sang earlier. Working together, the bees not only survive, they even create this wondrous gift of honey for others to also enjoy. On this Christmas Eve, my hope for each of you is that you ponder the bees and their unexpected resilience. May you too find the resources and the support you need in the coming year to adapt, to survive, and to even find gifts to share with one another. This is a hard, long journey we are on, to live in this shared world. May we work together to make it more just, equitable, and nonviolent, so that more life and more love might flourish among us all. May it be so. Amen.